Radio show. This one is LPT Realty, and they have the listing power tools. In the studio today, Phan, Matt Miller, and John Arroyo. I am Melissa Fox. Let's get this party started. All right, there's the big shot of everybody. All right, everybody clear your throats. Ty always gets sick when he's in the studio.
I thought this mute button's supposed to do something.
Yeah, it didn't. All right. Anyway, I'm going to get rid of this music. Just sound like a Holiday Inn or the Bohemian.
I think my mute button works.
Mine doesn't.
No, I can sort of hear you, but that's off of someone else's mic. All right, let's get our headphones at a place. If my voice is too loud, turn it down. If my voice is not loud enough, turn it up.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, great. All right, let's start this party. Just kidding.
What was that?
That's me. All right.
Dum, dum.
Whoa, looks like it's time now for another edition of LPT Realty's Real Estate All-Stars Radio. I'm your host, Melissa Fox, in the studio, Matt Miller, Phan, and John Arroyo. And we're going to have a good time talking about real estate and the infrastructure of Central Florida and all kinds of wonderful stuff. So let's head to the studio now. Ty, where have you been?
I've been off the map for a little bit. It's been a while. Missed you guys. How you doing?
Yeah, we're good, man. How you, Matt? You okay?
Doing good. Yeah, it's been a while, so happy to be back here.
Yeah, glad to see you. And we got a new fellow in the group here, Johnny. How are you, man?
Good afternoon. I'm doing great today.
Feeling
good. Amazing.
All right, now, so the premise of the show is to talk about the real estate and here in Central Florida, as well as people moving in from other states, what we're going to see, whether it's new building or, flipping houses, any of that. So somebody first, give me a little market report for Florida or for Central Florida.
Yeah, so the inventory's still low. Inventory's still low because, as you said, Melissa, everyone's moving into Florida. Florida it's a great time to move to Florida. It's a great time to be a resident of Florida. We're seeing less than, I don't know what, Matt, we're like less than 2 months, 3 months of inventory right now, but the average day on market's about 45 days with a median price point of $440,000. So it's an interesting time right now to buy in Florida as well.
Yeah, Volusia County is a little bit higher than that, but it still is a seller's market. Some areas are slowly teetering on becoming a buyer's market, but it's there's still a lack of inventory. People are afraid of where the interest rates are at now, and that's something that we can get into talking about is where rates are, and
Sure.
It is still a good time to buy. It's really just what can you afford. So you tell someone what your monthly mortgage payment is you want, and then let's see if it's a feasible option for you to buy or sell right now.
Sure. John, what are you seeing?
Hey, I second what they say. I mean, we're in Florida. I think Florida's the hottest state in the country. I mean, you got beaches here. You got entertainment everywhere you go, and it's just a fun state to be in overall. I mean, great people, a lot of diversity here, as well with the buying market. And the seller's market, I think it's a seller's market as well. I mean, there's a couple times in the past month where we put in offers on houses, and there's been multiple offers. So it's just
it's very interesting. So if you look at the numbers, I think Matt and everyone can look at this. If you look at the numbers, technically by definition, we're in a seller's market. However, what's very interesting right now is that because of the rise of interest rates, there's a generation out there saying, well, with the rise in interest rates, I can't afford a home. I can't get the home that I want. But the interesting fact is that the sellers know that the rise in interest rates is affecting the buyers, so they're not getting enough offers as it used to be. So they're supporting the whole negotiations again, dropping the prices down, properly pricing the home to begin with. It's a very interesting time right now to buy, and you definitely got to talk to a realtor to really educate yourself on that.
Yeah, you feel that way, Matt? Education from a realtor, or you just want to walk in there and go, you want to buy it?
No, education is really important right now. There's a lot of opportunities out there for buyers. So I see it all the time. I've gotten there's a lot of assistance programs out there.
Sure.
Those are even changing to become even better come the beginning of July. So the Hometown Heroes program is one of those. That is first responders right now, nurses, massage therapists, people in the medical field. But as of July 1st, the job requirement's going to drop. So anybody's eligible for it if you're a first-time home buyer. It has to be no home purchase within the last 3 years or owned in the last 3 years. The income limits there's household income limits, which you can discuss, further. And really, that's a great program. It can get you into a house with no money down. They pay your down payment and allow your closing costs up to a certain percentage, and that sits at the back of the loan at a 0% interest. So the only time you're ever going to pay that back is if you sell. So it's a great opportunity for someone to get in with very little money down. We just have to look at where the payment's at. So payments can be a little higher with rates. So
yeah, and that changed too, actually, because it used to be, like Matt said, the job requirement is gone. But if I remember correctly, it's still 5%, but with a threshold of $35,000 now.
Right, it was 25,000, and now it's going to 35,000.
Plus they've added
That's
so
the
much.
max.
It was 51 different categories.
Right, there was a lot. It was more than just police, firemen,
It was teachers,
medics.
was all
Right.
kinds, which is great. Honestly, I thought the program wasn't going to work. Like they'd run out of money, but instead they're putting a boost in it. They're opening it up for more people.
Yep.
Yeah, I just closed one last month. The guy got in and no money down at all. So he walked into a 2-year-old home with absolutely no money out of his pocket.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
John, do you believe in these programs?
I've been able to help a lot of people. I mean, we're able to cover closing costs, and there's so many programs out there, and I can't emphasize this enough. I mean, right now is the time to buy, and there's many reasons for that. I mean, inventory is low, and the houses are moving. So what do you think is going to happen when the rates drop? The rates drop, people are going to start buying more, and on top of that, you have investors that are going to come in.
Yeah, I just had the conversation yesterday with a client. You know, they're on the fence whether they want to buy or not. I said, well, here's the thing. You can afford the payment that you're at right now, and you're worried about the rate. But what's going to happen is rates drop, houses get listed even more. There's more buyers. You're back into bidding wars. I mean, and that will happen again. So now if you want to just be able to think about it, take your time, put an educated offer in on a property, now's the time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And LPT is the one to go with because they have all the tools, the listing power tools, which we'll talk about probably a little bit later on in the show, as well as I'd like to go in a little further on the programs that are available for people because there's a lot more than just the Hometown Heroes deal. John, how long have you been with LPT?
I joined LPT a few months ago.
Hey, welcome, man.
Yeah, good for you.
And it's probably been the best decision, real estate-wise, that I've made.
Now, how long have you been in the business?
I've been in the business. I was an appraiser back in 2006 for a couple years, and then if everybody remembers that, if you're old enough, you remember the market crash.
Yeah, I was there.
I mean, there was no work. So, I mean, I ended up getting into something else, and then I came in I own an Arroyo investment group, and I came in on the investor side, fixing and flipping properties back in 2020. Real estate arbitrage, hotel, a little bit of everything. And then I decided, me not having my license was hurting me. I wanted to educate myself more, and more possibilities of making money as well.
Right. How you feel about LPT? I don't see a knife in the back anywhere.
Not anywhere. I mean, Robert Palmer is doing a great job. I mean, he's really doing a great job with all the agents, and I mean, we have all the programs out there for us, including Chime. We have listing power tools. We have business, different plans that you could jump on. You got, rev share. We have business builder plan, which is possibly 100% commission. 100% commission, $500 per transaction, $5,000 cap, which is kind of unheard of. And this is important as well. I mean, we're pre-IPO. We believe that we're going to be the biggest brokerage in the world. So once we go public, I mean, we're getting shares now. Employees are getting shares now, the realtors. And once we go public, I mean, it could be life-changing.
Yes, it can. So,
yeah,
Ty, I'm sorry, Ty, you were off the grid for a minute. What you been doing? Traveling again? I'm in Scotland. I'm in Britain.
No, not a lot of traveling. I've actually been schooling myself. I've been going back to school. I've been learning about the whole luxury market. So ever since then, I kind of transitioned to the luxury market, just reading up books, taking some classes, going to the Aura, just educating on what's the main difference between luxury and regular residential.
Yeah, explain the acronym Aura for us.
Oh, gosh, you're school me on that. Is
Orlando
Real Estate Regional Association.
Regional Real Estate.
There you go.
There we go.
That was
like
pretty close. Yeah. People say aura, and I'm thinking, wow, your color's red, But it's actually with an O, and it has to do with the real estate. And what are you seeing? What did you learn?
Well, it's more about the tactics, really. The luxury market's very interesting. What I found very interesting about the luxury market is that when people think luxury, they think extravagance. They think about the Rolex watches, the Lamborghinis, the multi-million-dollar homes. And let's be real, there's an element to that. But what I appreciate about the luxury markets is the stories that I hear from my clients. That, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the sacrifices, the long nights it took for them to get to that point where they can buy those things. And I just think that it's a great honor to be a part of that milestone for them.
It is. Matt, you had something to say over there. You probably forgot it, but go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know where I was going to go with that. So.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, yeah. Are you into the luxury deal too?
I do some luxury, more in the beaches. So your beachfront homes, condos out at the Volusia County beaches. So we're seeing a lot of opportunity. You do have to be careful, and you definitely want a realtor to navigate those with you. With the hurricanes that came, there were some major damages and some major pending assessments coming. So there has to be some good research done on the condo association, HOAs, things of that nature to make sure you're not going to get stuck with a huge bill after closing.
It sounds like fun. Hey, you know what? We got to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to talk more real estate, being that it's a real estate show, but we'll also tell you about programs that are out there, how you can get from renting into a house that you actually own. So much coming up. You'll want to stay right here. It's the Real Estate All-Stars radio show on News Radio, WFLA, Orlando. Yes, dear. What are you doing?
Oh, no. I was just making sure we're off and clear, and we're going to move my stand.
So silly. Give me a second to check something here.
With condos, there's huge. I mean, pools are missing. Like pools washed into the ocean. A lot of the condo buildings.
Pretty bad.
So they're doing like initial assessments, but there's probably going to be future assessments beyond that. And that's where you really got to look at the financials and things like that, because it's been a nightmare. And it's pretty widespread. And then the wait's 2 years. So you're buying a place now that has no pool, but you're paying the fees for it.
Yeah.
And it's 2 years construction now because there's so many that need built.
Okay. Good stuff there. All right. Segment number 2 coming up. Okay. Stand by. I like that one. Here we go. Welcome back. It's Real Estate All-Stars Radio. We do this for you every Sunday afternoon, 4 o'clock, right here on News Radio WFLA Orlando. Got a great studio full of really cool and successful real estate agents. I think you're a mortgage broker too, aren't you now?
Mortgage broker also, yes.
That's Matt Miller. We got John Arroyo. There we go. Yeah, I'll try to roll those L's. And Ty Phan.
Stop.
I figured out why your mute button's not working. It's to your left.
Oh, that's my mute button?
Try it.
There we go.
That's just confusing.
Well, don't let it be confusing. Anyway, we're just gonna explain the whole real estate market to you. Let's start with new construction. What is going on there? Kind of offers going on? Why should I buy new?
Wow, okay. So new construction is an amazing time right now to get into. There are incentives from the builders that are unbelievable in some cases, but they are true. You want, again, have a realtor accompany you to that very first visit. So don't walk in and look at new construction models without a realtor available, because what they tend to do is you'll be locked out of having somebody represent you on your side. So that's something that, I recommend if you're thinking new construction. You can give me a call, 407-480-0271, and I'm happy to walk you through the process to start new construction. But the incentives are great. You're getting closing costs paid. You're getting some upgrades possibly. There's just so much available right now. And there's inventory that people have been priced out of. So they locked in last year at a lower rate. Now they can't afford the payment, so they're backing out of the contract. So you have these homes that are sitting, ready to move in. Nobody's lived in. You can get great incentives on them.
Very nice. Now, what about that whole thing? Right? You were in there for a year. It's new construction, new house, and then all of a sudden, property taxes. I've heard there's a big issue with all of a sudden you get slammed with that. Is that true?
No, in Volusia County, there hasn't been a problem at all. They pretty much do a good job of assessing what your initial value is going to be based on the comps. I would assume that's what they're using. I don't know how the tax collector or appraiser adjusters do the taxes. But I myself bought new construction, and my taxes have gone up maybe $400 in the year. So that was from year 1 to 2, and now it's just normal increases that we see as the tax rates go.
Hey, John, what area do you like to work in Central Florida?
Really wherever the business takes me. I mean, really, that's your answer. It's really wherever. I work hard for my clients. And just kind of second what he said on the new bills, there's so many incentives with them. I was just able to lock up from one of my clients just yesterday. Closing costs completely covered. She's coming in on the investor side, so we were able to get a 2-year lease back at 1% of the purchase price, which was about $585,000. So that's $5,800 a month. Your mortgage is only what, $3,300, $3,400. I mean, you're cash flowing $2,000 a month. Lease guaranteed 2 years with the possibility of an extension up to 5 years with closing cost coverage. She's really doing a great job on this one.
Now, is anyone seeing the combination for new construction with closing costs and also the availability to do the 2-to-1 buy down? You seen that, Matt? Have you seen that?
I don't know of any that are actively doing that right now, but they are paying closing costs, and I think you can ask as the buyer to maybe put it towards a 2-1 buy down, depending, but most of those deals require you to use their lender. So, and that's something you really want to look at. Once they pull your credit, you have 45 days to have your credit pulled again without any impact to you. So get an idea of what it's going to cost using an outside mortgage company.
All right.
Sometimes the incentives aren't as good as they seem, and it would be better off to go with somebody outside of their preferred lender.
Does anybody here do anything industrial or commercial?
No, we're getting in our group in New Smyrna now, starting to do some, we have a couple leases, some warehouse leases coming available on the market, but we aren't doing any commercial real estate at the moment. But LPT is looking to grow into a commercial division.
Good.
They're really focusing on the luxury division right now and getting that all set and what other states we're rolling out to, and then they're going to start looking commercial.
Yeah, I just see, as I drive around here, so much that's built and empty. And, I mean, there's got to be so much opportunity, but right now, getting people that are coming in at, a couple of thousand a week moving here, I think is the latest numbers. Yeah, I mean, there's no time to worry about commercial. There's putting people in houses is really the deal. What areas do you find are popping? I know you said Volusia County. Anything down in Osceola, Polk?
Yeah, so I do, for some reason, lately my business has been in Osceola County around St. Cloud, Davenport area, and Kissimmee. There are a lot of homes out there available. The median price point around there is like $338 to almost $400,000. So I think that's such a sweet spot right now for Osceola County.
That is pretty sweet. I just learned today that I was today years old when I learned that Polk County is actually the biggest growing county here in the Central Florida. I know, right? In the Central Florida area, which is different. I did not expect that. So
Marion County also has had some action out there because you can get a lot of home for a little bit of money. I just sold a house in Bellevue, Florida, so not far from Ocala, close to the villages, but it's very rural. Qualified for USDA financing for the buyer. I was representing the seller, but $210,000 for a 3-bedroom house that was in really good shape. So.
Wow.
That's some good stuff right
Yeah.
there.
And again, I know they're building out along the highway, Turnpike and all these things. Do you see people actually driving into these houses, or are they waiting it out? What do you think?
I'm seeing a lot in Palm Coast, so close access to 95. You can commute to Jacksonville. You can commute to Daytona, even Cocoa for some that want to drive. But Palm Coast and their new construction in particular is booming right now.
So, John, aside from playing with my microphones over there, what's going on, man? What are you seeing? What are you thinking?
Like I said before, I think now's the time to buy.
Well, it's always the time to buy, according to
It's always the time to
Ty.
buy. I mean, there's real estate. It always it appreciates. It comes back every single time. So if you're saying realtors, a lot of people have heard this, but you marry the house and you date the rate. I mean, you can always.
That's first I've heard that. How about you, Ty?
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm
like, what the heck is that? I think
mean,
he just made it up right there in the chair. He's like, that's good. I'm going to do that again.
but you can always refinance down the line.
Sure.
I mean, get the house that you really want.
What do you think about starter homes? A lot of people like myself really don't have the income or the credit scores to get into the big house that we really want. How do you convince somebody that it's great to get a starter home and then move where you need and want to? How do you do that?
I mean, you can always. It's always better than renting.
That's
I mean,
all you say.
I
Hey,
just
man,
keep it
it's
as
better
simple as
than
that. I
renting.
mean,
No, he's not lying though. It is. Listen, if you're spending average of $1,800 a month, $2,000 a month
More
in
like
rent,
25.
yeah, $2,500, and that goes to the big man upstairs, right? You're paying his mortgage. So if there's a way for you to, if you can actually afford a mortgage payment, keep in mind that you're building equity. You are building you're getting appreciation on your property. So you are theoretically making money. And I just did a video about this. If you go to my social media platforms, TySellsFlorida.com, I just did a video about this. You got to go ahead and buy now because you're investing in this. This is a great way compared to investing in stock. You know, real estate is always the hedge against inflation.
He's right.
I just enjoy throwing my $2,000 a month right into the air. There you go. Because there's nothing except renting there. I mean, not at all.
I'll go back to the house that I just sold in Bellevue. So I sold that house to the person that was selling now as a buyer. So she bought the house a year ago. We bought it for $180,000 a year ago. So she walked away with $35,000 in equity.
Nice.
In 1 year. And that's somebody who never would have thought that she could have afforded a house. Now, she gave up a little to get that house. She had a 45-minute drive to work. So, there's some give and take there. So you may not get that immediate house right around the corner in the beautiful neighborhood, but you can still make a smart deal. You can start earning equity. Homes appreciate about 2 to 4% a year right now is what the projections are. So it's going to continue to grow, and you're building equity for yourself and building that builds wealth. I mean,
yeah, seems like it to me. I think it's a great idea. And again, like all of these guys from LPT always say, now is the time to buy. It's not waiting. Actually, the interest rates are at a pretty good place from where they were a few years ago. So people are like, oh, it's so high. No, it's really not.
No.
You guys see that too.
It was just that culture shock. Oh, 2.75 is the norm. No, it's not. The 2.75 was the abnormality.
Right. My great-grandfather said, I remember closing costs for like $10. Grandpa.
Everyone's gotten spoiled.
Yes, they have. Speaking of spoiled, we're all spoiled here at the show. I'm pretty sure of it. Phan, of course, one of my favorites. We got a new favorite in here, John Arroyo. And, of course, Matt Miller, one of my big favorite fans, I'm your biggest fan. That's, we'll get that right. Hey, you're listening to Real Estate All-Stars Radio Show. Oh, good time on that one. All right. What else do we talk about? Ty, you haven't been here in a while. What do you got? Tell us, Ali.
Unless you want to talk about why LPT, unless that was.
We can.
Was that the last segment? Or this is the
not
second
necessarily. We can do the second.
So I want to talk about a
segment.
particular loan program for people with 720 credit scores or higher.
Okay.
Then also a buyer's seminar that I'm going to be doing in Volusia County on July 22nd. So we can get into more detail than what we could do on the radio.
Ty, have you made a billboard? Have you made a billboard yet, or just more?
Yeah, or earlier on when I first joined last year.
Where are you on the Tritone tour or whatever at the Magic game? You were on the Magic game?
I was
too?
not.
No,
I didn't join then.
Okay.
I joined in February. So
you just missed it.
I was on the.
You were on the billboards.
Yeah,
I
saw
was
him.
on with the Magic too.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Cool. Things to look forward
How'd
to.
you find your billboard?
It was over in Sarasota or St. Pete or
How
something.
I found mine, actually, a friend of mine took a picture of it and sent it to me.
Just randomly saw it and said, hey.
But my wife and I also sat in front of one and watched it cycle through so I could get a better picture.
Oh, jeez. You made her do it today.
Yeah.
Honey, just sit right here. It'll come in a couple of minutes.
Yep.
He's not denying it.
All right, this is segment number 3. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Let's do this. Let's do this right. Welcome back. Real Estate All-Stars Radio every Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock on News Radio WFLA Orlando. Real Estate All-Stars powered by LPT Realty. Let's talk about that a little bit. What's listing power tools mean? Then we'll get over to Matt. He's got a couple things he wants to shamelessly promote. So you think I was lying. All right, now we talked to John first. He's the latest member, came on board a couple months ago with LPT. And Ty, you've been pretty much one of the guys. Were you number 5 or 007 or something like that?
I wish I was like number 76 or something like that.
And how many realtors now do we have under the cloak?
Just over 4,000 agents.
Jeez.
Just 4,000 agents. That's crazy. That's unheard of. And just over a year.
A
now.
year. Yeah. It's been a year.
So I talked to John a little bit about this, John, and you said that there was just so much opportunity here that you were like, it would be silly not to become involved.
It's just if you got to ride the wave, guys. I mean, if you're a real estate agent, I'm talking from realtor to realtor. It's a great decision. I mean, they have all the programs you need, all the help you need. the communications there, motivational Mondays, luxury listings that go over that. I mean, we're here on iHeartRadio right now. We got the news channels. You drive down I-4, you're going to see LPT. It's all about the marketing. I mean, they're putting our faces out there, and they're just all the tools that you could possibly need. It's been a no-brainer.
Tell me about the white box. Did you get that yet?
Say it again.
The white box. The
white box.
The
Okay,
box.
Yeah. So for every listing that you have, you get a whole box of everything you need: business cards, mailers, door hangers, a little bit of everything.
You can pick your own colors.
Hey, a little bit of everything.
Yeah. What colors did you pick?
I changed it. At first, I went with what everybody else chose, which was the blue, and then I changed it to red.
Ah,
I don't know. Try to do something a little bit different.
Right. Is that book of 9 things you should ask your realtor and all that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's evolved.
Yes, it has. Now what are we at, a 13?
Now it's not just the listing power tool box that you get. You can order these what they call prospecting box, which have nice quality magazines, different size door hangers, different size business cards, mainly to promote us as the market expert and be able to show how to market a home. Or we have a 7 tips to homebuyer strategy. And so it's constantly, one of the things Robert Palmer's done is he's continued to develop. We have an AI system in place now that makes graphics for us that we can have easily readable, easily usable for our social media. It's amazing how it continues. And so I was in the first 100 people into the company, and it's just changed so much in a year, and it's done in a very meticulous way. So everything is thought out, and it's worked. So, I mean, I can't say that my business has tripled since coming to LPT. And this year I'm on pace for even more. So,
yeah,
you know,
he's doing good.
The sky's really the limit when you get over here with LPT.
John, one thing I noticed is if RP finds something's not working, he immediately changes the road.
And that's the way a business should be run.
Right.
I mean, if something's not, I run a company, so if you got to eliminate the things that are costing you money and not doing much for you, there's no return.
Right. Now, he's real good at that. Plus, he writes all these programs. I mean, Robert Palmer's amazing, a real smart guy.
Great.
And now the LPT Realty, which is coming together for a while, when it finally went live, I guess, if you put it that way, it just has taken off. Matt Miller, you got involved and immediately realized, you know what, I need to get a license for mortgaging too. How's that worked out?
I did. I came from the banking world when I moved into real estate, and I'm like, I see a need for better service in the mortgage industry. So I try not to represent my own clients, but with having 4,000 agents available, I can offer services to them. So that's been nice. One of the programs that I wanted to talk about is there is for 720 credit score or higher, but you just don't want to use your cash up to buy a house. There's basically a 100% financing deal where you can move into a house up to $726,000, FICO score at 720. All you're required is to put 1% down, and that could be a gift even.
1%?
So
Wow.
It's a great program. There's no first-time home buyer requirement. So if you're interested in that, you can give me a call, 407-480-0271, or Florida Housing Dreams on all forms of social media.
Perfect. So let's go back to John, and see, he's new with the group here, so I like to pick
I
on
love
a
it.
few people.
I love it.
You all right with that?
Yeah.
All right with that. Good,
Better
good, good.
you than me. She always picks on me.
Yeah, I usually, that's common.
Hey, we didn't mention when we're talking about the white boxes, the power listing tools before. Just to kind of go back, that is free to the realtor.
Oh.
There is no cost.
Well, how much did it cost to get on board with LPT?
It costs nothing. They charge, I think it was $500 a year.
It's an annual fee of $500, and that's taken out your very first commission check. So we don't take the money out until you get the first home.
Yes.
We don't want you to be out pocket.
Right. Well, good. That's awesome. What about the mentoring programs and such? You mentioned that there's learning and Motivation Mondays and all this. Give us a little idea about what's going on. You want to take that, Ty?
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, for me, the mentorship program is phenomenal. These guys will give the shirt off their back for you to make sure that you're successful. Especially for me, now that we have Miranda Caddy and Benjamin Hillman, who sold Shaq's home. These guys are our luxury mentors. So we have a mentor for every avenue that you want to go for your real estate business. and they are very successful people. They're very smart people. They keep it real with you, and you learn so much of them. And there's a reason why we hired them, or reason why Robert Palmer hired them is because they see greatest potential in them.
Yeah, greatest potential. Hey, somebody explained to me first-time home buyers. Apparently, you can do it again and again and again, but what's the window on that?
It's a 3-year window. So
Then how can they call it a first-time home buyer if you owned a home and then 3 years?
why
passed?
ask why?
Oh,
who
okay.
cares?
Oh, oh,
It resets.
I think I just got slammed. There.
I guess you haven't had a home recently, so you're now a first-time home buyer. So
I think that's a little weird, but I like it. And a
It
lot
is
of people
weird.
don't understand that when they say first-time home buyer. You think this is the home now. If I want to move somewhere else, I'm not eligible for a whole bunch of things, and that just isn't true.
right.
Well, technically, it's your first time buying this home.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
So-
people go through the divorces, and they may rent for 3 years. They don't own property anymore, and then they're ready to get back into a house. They can qualify.
Tell me about the 2-1 buy down, somebody.
The 2-1 buy down is where you have to negotiate that the seller pays the money, but you're basically getting a 2% concession at closing from the seller, and then that will buy your rate down 2 basis points for the first year, and then it'll go to 1 basis point the next year, and then you'll be at your normal rate in year 3. There's also a 3-2-1 buy down, which is
Really?
the same thing, just going to 3 years. But those programs are a great option and something to look at. So you can really save some money. And then in 3 years, the idea behind that is, one, you're going to be happy you're locked in at the rate of today, or you're going to be able to refinance and get to a lower rate.
I see.
And there's some mortgage partners out there, too, that'll do no-cost refis with a 2-1 buy down, so you can get your mortgage costs paid, basically, on a refi.
This is good stuff I'm learning here. I just thought I'd let you know. You're listening to Real Estate All Stars Radio. It's powered by LPT Realty. More information, lpt.com. Is that if you're a buyer, seller, or LPT Realty if you are interested in getting involved as an agent? Is that right? Did I get that right?
Sure. So,
Well, sure. Flip it. Ty has no idea. He hasn't been here in a couple months. We gotta
Sorry, I'm
bring
already
him.
thinking about clients out the call after this. Sorry.
Are you? What's going on? Talk to me.
Well, no, I have a potential lead for a client looking at a $2.5 million home in Winter Park. She's an out-of-state from Dallas, Texas. Her husband is relocating his job here to Orlando, like a lot of people are.
Sure, no time.
So yeah, I have a meeting with them and just want to make sure that I have all the questions that I need to ask them to make sure that I get the information they need.
So let me get this right. During the middle of a radio show, you're thinking about a potential buyer. Is that right?
That's how we
Are
do
we
it.
bothering you?
No,
You sure?
multitasking.
we're on 365, so 24 hours, 365.
All right, let's drop around the table, starting with Mr. Phan, and give us your information in case anybody actually wants to deal with you.
Ty Phan with TySellsFlorida.com. You can find me on my social media page at TySellsFlorida, or give me a call 407-734-1103.
John Arroyo. You can visit my website at homeoforlando.com. And if you need to contact me, give me a call at 407-430-6330. I would love to help you.
Yeah, Matt Miller in the house.
And Matt Miller with the Locals Group with LPT Realty, 407-480-0271, and Florida Housing Dreams on all forms of social.
I love it. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back for our final segment, we got a lot to handle in that one, I'm telling you. We're going to talk about what buyers and sellers we can put together, perhaps, what we're seeing out there in the real estate industry, and perhaps some stuff you might want to avoid. Just saying, it could happen. This is Real Estate All Stars Radio right here on News Radio, WFLA Orlando. We find that same thing happens outside my desk out there, too. Everybody gets a little cloggy.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's not just you, Ty. I swear.
It's always this room. I don't know why. Well, maybe I'm just nervous. Do I sound nervous?
No.
This is pretty fun, guys.
I think you're fine.
Yeah, man.
All right, this is the final 10 minutes, guys.
Cool.
Goes fast, don't it, John?
Yeah, one quick.
Yeah. All right, so one last segment. And again, I want to talk about pitfalls a little bit, things to watch out for just because we've been talking so positively. Is there a chance that we could talk about something like that, or perhaps something that fell through and the reasons why, anything like that? No?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then let's do that. Okay. Stand by. Welcome back. Real Estate All Stars Radio, powered by LPT Realty. That means listing power tools. They've got all the tools for you. Over 4,000 agents now. Somebody's doing something right. Let's go back to the studios. We've got Matt Miller, John Arroyo, and Phan. Ty. You know they can't see that.
Oh, no, you're looking at the webcam.
Oh, on the webcam. Okay, they can see that on the webcam. Yes, we are broadcasting throughout the socials because, well, somebody's got to do it, and it's fun to watch you guys. All right, let's talk a little bit about things that we should watch out for when trying to buy or sell a house. Ty, you know some stuff.
Yeah, no, I actually had this recently, and I'm kind of still.
Are you reeling?
The wound's still kind of fresh a little bit, but it actually, I was representing the buyer, and she was pre-approved. We got all the finances, everything ready to rock and roll. 30 days prior to close, she bought a car.
Oh no!
But in her defense, her car literally broke down.
Took a dump.
It took a dump, and so she had to. And then I told her, we advised her, and if anyone's listening to this right now, don't buy anything, don't finance anything if you're about to close a home, because what the lender will do is they'll rerun your information to make sure that your finance situation has not changed.
Boom.
So in this situation, her finances did change, so she was no longer qualified for the home amount that she was pre-approved for. So now we have to research one for like a condo versus a single-family home.
I actually heard that someone did that, bought a car on the way to the signing. Like literally, it was like drove up. Look at my new car, yeah. And needless to say, that fell through.
So don't no major purchases, no financing. Wait until you get the house of the key. What is it?
Keys,
home keys,
house keys.
There you go. Thank you. Before you buy anything else.
Matt, got any horror stories you want to share?
Not so much horror stories, but the fact that the contracts, when they're written, there's an inspection period, and there's certain deadlines throughout the process of buying a home that you need to be aware of, and you need to make sure you have a qualified realtor that's going to do that for you. I had a client that recently came to me that lost escrow money on a deposit because they didn't realize the inspection period was only 5 days, which is, you can rate it for whatever you want, and their realtor missed the inspection deadline and didn't remind them, and they actually did want to back out of the contract. So long story short, they ended up losing a couple $1,000s in escrow money in that deal. So it's important that your realtor's on your side and that they're paying attention. So
obviously, that wasn't an LPT realtor.
It was not, but they became an LPT realtor, and it helped me a lot. So it makes me look like a shining star.
John is like raring at the bit to tell his story.
No, because I agree with what he just said. That's kind of I was going to say the same thing. All realtors are not created equal. No, they're just not. I'll be honest. My last transaction, the listing agent, I had to hold her hand the whole time. She didn't know how to do electronic signatures, the addendums. She would print it and then scan it, and then when she scanned it back to me, it was half the page. It was just the whole time. But it's very important, yes. So just like he mentioned, to keep track of your deadlines, and on your inspection period, that's your time to go back and renegotiate. Which is important. If there's something that's major, that's where you come back and you renegotiate, try to either get it fixed or get some money off of the purchase, or a little bit of help with closing. There's so many angles you can go in different ways, but just like he mentioned, it's very important to be aware of your deadlines on the
speaking
contract.
of being aware, I have a neighbor who sold their house, had a water filter system, and had just purchased solar panels. None of them were paid off, but the guy bought the house anyway, not knowing that it was carrying over. Have you dealt with that situation before, anyone?
I have not dealt with it personally, but I know that it happens, and that's a big deal. I mean, solar panels, usually, 20-year payment plans on those. I mean, they're quite a while, and they do. If it's not paid off at closing, it's going to carry to the new owner. Yeah. It's not real hard for those contracts to transfer over through the process of the deed transfer.
Right.
Yeah, but they also take that into consideration when they're figuring out your mortgage payment too. So, I mean, and I hate to say it, like what John said earlier, not all realtors are treated equally.
Sure.
And that's true because I've seen some listings where a property has solar panels, but the real estate agent doesn't say that it's leased. So it's actually good to have a realtor that actually asks those questions. Hey, I see a solar panel. Is that paid off or is that leased? Because you didn't put it in the listing.
Yep.
So
Wow,
Right.
that'll catch you, I guess. What other things should we look for in the homes? I know we've talked about curb appeal in the past, but what you mentioned that people aren't doing as much work; they're offsetting it by cutting some money off for things they need to do. What at this point, if someone wants to sell their house, should they be doing to stage it right?
I mean, really, to stage it correctly, one is obviously the curb appeal visual appearance, the cleanliness of the house when you walk inside. Declutter as much as you possibly can. Make sure that if you have pets, there's air fresheners or you're vacuuming so there's not balls of pet hair everywhere. I mean, things like that are little, and it, to me as a buyer, wouldn't turn me off because that's an easy fix. But to a lot of people, they walk in, first impressions are everything. So when you walk in, it's just not visually appealing, and it turns them off immediately.
Yeah, I have literally not even gotten out of the car. At a certain point, I would have driven up with the real estate agent and gone, keep going.
We've done it the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got out the car and I said, listen, she kind of gave the same face I gave. Let's not even go inside.
Yeah.
Let's wait, not waste our
Moving
time.
along.
Let's move on to the next one.
I understand open houses are coming back. Have you seen that?
Yeah, the open houses are big right now. In Volusia County, you're seeing a lot of them, and you're seeing a lot of other realtors want to host them just to be able to get out and meet the different buyers that are out there, because it's really important now to network with other buyers and try to bring in people that aren't represented by a realtor. So I think that's some of the big thing. But you're starting to see more turnout. So before, there would be open houses that I would hold, and you might get, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 couples, or half the time they're nosy
Drive-bys,
neighbors.
yeah.
But now I'm starting to see a bigger turnout at open houses. So I would say anywhere from 8 couples to 12 on average.
Much better.
And that's pretty good. The last one I did was a 55 and up community, and we weren't expecting many people at all, and there were quite a few that came. So
Well, it's probably because you did the work, because with the LPT white box, we
That's-
actually step out, put door hangers and everything like that to actually market it before the actual open house
Sure.
happens, and not just relying on the MLS saying, hey, we have an open house here. We actually market the open house.
And we started doing one separate for the neighbors. So we'll do one and just invite the nearby neighbors. So it's more of a special open house, so they get a preview before the general public. Because who better to pick the new person moving into the neighborhood than the people that live there now? So a lot of people know someone that might want to live in that neighborhood.
So you guys basically will fan out in the neighborhood where there's one home, let everybody know that this is going on?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
We do that whether it be door hangers, targeted marketing through social media. There's a lot of different ways we can get the word out. But the prospecting boxes that we have in particular are really big right now with door hangers.
Does anybody have any homes that they're trying to get a buyer for, or any homes that people are looking for at this point? Ty's like, no, I've been off the grid.
I got something. So it was on the market for a while. The seller just didn't want to move in their price, but they now have adjusted to meet what the market standard would be. So it's $699,000 for 10-acre property in Osteen, Florida.
Ooh.
So if you want to bring the farm life and live in Osteen, the 10 acres is, I would say, 80% cleared. There's fencing up. The previous owners had cattle there. They had chickens, ducks, goats, pretty much the whole 9.
Yeah, farm. Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's a nice property, move-in ready home. So the home itself is really nice. And then there's some outbuildings on the property that you could potentially rehab or maybe just tear down and start fresh. So some of them are a little run down. But at $699,000 for 10 acres, it's a good deal. So if you're interested in that, again, it's 407-480-0271. Give me a call.
You have anything on the table, John?
Well, tomorrow I'm going to a property. It's 8,000 square feet. The appraisal came in at a good amount of $4 million, and the house is getting close to foreclosure. So we're possibly going to move it for about 3.2. And if you do the difference between what the appraisal is, and I mean, you have the opportunity to make a lot of money
Where's this property at?
in Orlando.
All right,
Okay.
give us your
It's
information so we can get hold of you.
Give me a call at 407-430-6330, or you can visit my website at homeoforlando.com.
All right, Miller, Matt.
Again, it's Matt Miller, 407-480-0271, and Florida Housing Dreams on social media. Give me a follow.
And finally,
Ty.
Ty Phan.
Ty Phan with TySalesFlorida.com on all social media forums, Ty Sales Florida, and 407-734-1103.
If you're interested in getting on board with LPT, check out lptrealty.com. We'll be back again next Sunday, 4 o'clock. I am Melissa Fox for Matt Miller, John Arroyo, and Ty Phan. Yeah, we'll be back again. It's time to say goodbye, everybody.
Have a good one, everyone.
Who turned his mic up over there? Bye.
Bye.
All right, you guys. Later, Gators. You did it. You turned up. Bye. Yeah, we were. You know we always say goodbye. All right, let me just clean this up real quick, and I will be right there. Okay. Oh, man, we nailed it. Timing is great. La.